Now, we often hear about weird, outlandish rumors in the world of video games, and most of the time they are wrong. I mean, obviously there's no gigantic floating head of Wario in Super Mario 64, right? Right? Ah! Now, as I was saying, there are a lot of rumors that make no sense, and some of them even seem impossible for a Nintendo game. Like that spicy code that was seen in Ocarina of Time, which I covered a while ago. However, this time, I am back with a new rumor that seems impossible. But... this time, it's true. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because today we will be covering the not-so-PG stuff seen in Link's Awakening. Hey, psst! Be sure to check out wily.gg if you're in the market for any games, and use code Wily to get 5% off. Now let's continue with the video. Now, during the 90s, Nintendo had to create games for their new little handheld device known as the Game Boy. And even though it began as an unsanctioned side project, programmer Kaizuyaki Morita created a Zelda-like game with one of the first Game Boy development kits as an experiment. And later on, others joined him during after hours and worked on the game in what seemed like some sort of after-school club, which was odd to say the least. And as the project developed and more people came on board after A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening was officially born. It was the 4th installment of the series and the first ever handheld title. Now, it became an instant hit and did really well on the Game Boy. So well even, that they made a colorized update titled Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color. And heck, recently they even made a special HD remake with a brand new art style for the Nintendo Switch, which also did pretty well. However, after playing the game, you will discover that it's very odd. Its story doesn't involve Ganondorf or Zelda, and it's even set on a dream island that disappears once you beat the game. And personally, I actually love it for this reason, because it's really weird, but it also has an amazing story that hits right in the feels. But, as you can imagine, there are also a lot of side quests, and some of these are questionable. And one rumor that circulated around on the internet stated that if you solved one specific side quest, you would be able to see something spicy. In Link's Awakening, there's a pretty big trading side quest, which involves 14 items in total that must be given to various characters around Koholint Island. And one of those people is a mermaid, who Link needs to visit after the fisherman under the bridge in Martha's Bay gives him the mermaid's necklace that he caught. Now you need to return this necklace to the mermaid, and if you do so, you get a skill from her. And at that point, the quest just continues. However, according to some, if you did something special during this sequence, then you can get a very special, spicy reward. You know, a shot of the mermaid without her top? And no, you're not getting a shot of that in this video, you certainly ain't. Now, according to the rumors, you had to complete this trading quest in a specific way. For example, you first had to talk to someone else, or obtain another item before giving her the necklace, while others said that you actually had to dive down when you were swimming next to her to see them, which sounds inappropriate to say the least. Like, really, that's how you end up in prison. And apparently, she would even say something about it once you did dive down for a peek, like a real pervert. Now, for a long time, this rumor circulated around on message boards during the early days of the internet, as well as on the playground and school hallways, before everyone was connected 24/7. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of different ways of unlocking this new view were floating around aside from the ones I just mentioned, with most of them being quite weird. However, was this even really possible in the game? Well, yes and no. I mean, it depends on the version of the game that you have, because there are a number of differences between the North American and Japanese version of this game. And the most infamous change is probably the one around the mermaid, because in the Japanese version she didn't lose a necklace, but actually a bikini top, known as the pink bra in the game. Now, outside of Japan, this was changed into a necklace, which explains why she's acting so weird around you, especially when you're diving in front of her. And in the Japanese version, she really calls you out if you dive down in the game. But no matter what you do, you can't see her topless. But I get where the rumor came from, because I mean, she is missing something quite important in the Japanese version, and Americans as well as Europeans most likely got the whole idea from this other version. And obviously in the 2019 remake, the censored version was only used. I mean, with those enhanced graphics and see-through water, Nintendo would be in for one hell of a rating on the game. But was this it then? The rumor was just completely fake? Well, not really. Like I said, this rumor turned out to be true in many ways. Now I bet all of you can remember the Hippo Model character, who can be found in the Shuldonovich studio in the Animal Village, where she is posing for his painting. But when Link walks inside, she immediately sits down and asks him to leave when spoken to. Now usually she isn't too special. However, there are a number of versions of the game where she's a bit more, spicy? Because in the Japanese and original German and French versions of Link's Awakening, the Hippo Model was actually posing without clothes or anything. She only has a towel covering the lower half of her body, and what appears to be exposed hoo-has on her upper body, which I can't show you on YouTube. Well, I think. I mean, it's literally 5 pixels or something, but hey, with YouTube nowadays, I ain't risking it. Now, when Link walks in, she quickly pulls her towel up and covers herself. So while the mermaid did lose her bikini top, nothing could be seen. But here with the hippo, you could see it all, even though those 10 extra pixels don't change too much. But it does show that this rumor was right in the end. Now, Nintendo of America deemed this whole Hippo Model situation as too inappropriate for American audiences, and as a result, they removed her hoo-has and towel. And this censorship was also carried over in the German and French versions of Link's Awakening DX. But when the game was remade on the Nintendo Switch, the Hippo Model's design was altered to include her hourglass figure, but she remains fully dressed. And they basically did this to ensure that everyone was happy. So the whole concept did return to an extent, and normally they don't do this stuff. If they get rid of it, then it never returns. For example, the drinking that was seen in Mario Kart for the SNES. In that game, if you win, you normally get a bottle of champagne, and in the Western version, you just hold the bottle or throw it around a bit. However, in the Japanese version, you drink it all down and become insanely drunk, which was never seen in the series again, or any of this game's re-releases. Well, as far as I know. But this stuff, these marvelous hoo-has, did make a return, and this whole rumor was for the most part real. However, this isn't the only rumor I have covered. I've done many others, like this one about the spicy code seen in Zelda Ocarina of Time, which I mentioned earlier. And the same goes for the Wario apparition in Super Mario 64, so go check him out. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I came across this whole topic and I was like, oh, this could be fun to cover. Especially because a lot of people know more about Link's Awakening now due to the remake. And they even made a reference to it in the remake, which was crazy. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, click the bell button, do all the good stuff. Watch my other videos. Please help Papa out. And then I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, cool. Bye. Bye. Have a good day at school, work, or basketball. Bye.